Hello, my name is Steve Lane, head umpire instructor for the United States Polo Association's Umpires LLC. Today we're going to go through the 2018 rule changes for USPA Polo rules. Rule number 2, we're going to jump right in with substitution. This rule is a little bit different from last year. Last year, if a player was injured, he may find an eligible player to take that injured player's place, but only for that game. In 2018, that player, if they're eliminated from the tournament, may play every game after just for that injured player. So a little bit different this year from last year as far as relating to an injured player and an eligible player taking the place of the injured player for a substitute. Rule 14. This rule's a little bit different this year than last year as well. Last year in USPA rules, once the warning horn sounded, if there was a foul called, then that foul shot was taken within that 30-second overtime portion of the period. This year, different. If the umpire's whistle sounds for any reason, then play shall continue in the following period. If the ball goes over the sidelines or the sideboards, then that ends the period. If a goal is scored, that ends the period as well. So continuation of a period will follow, however, play shall be resumed. In the final regulation period, if the game is not tied at the first horn, that ends the game. Should the game be tied after the first horn, now we continue to play. If the ball goes over the back line, then the team awarded the knock-in shall take the knock-in. Only if a goal is scored shall that end the game in the overtime portion of the period. And for umpires, it's easy to remember, try and end the game in that 30 seconds. Rule 20, offsides, and this is a big one, folks. This is one to get used to, and yes, we have offsides in polo now. If a player, for instance, in a bowl-in, is on the wrong side of the bowl-in or throw-in, as our rule book states, then that player is deemed to be offsides. That player may not make a play, a hit, a hook, or affect the play in any way until he or she has passed one of their own teammates who is properly positioned when the throw-in took place. We can also have sides on a penalty shot. For instance, if we have red taking a penalty 4 and blue changed horses at the opposite end of the field and they're coming back behind the ball, then that player is deemed to be offsides until they're in front of the ball and between the 30-yard line and the end line. No more 30 yards from the ball on a penalty 4. Penalty 6 has the same scenario. They must be between the 30 and the end line. Once again, if a player is offsides, they can't affect the play in any way. We can also have offsides on a penalty 5A from the spot or penalty 5B from the center of the field. We can also have offsides when the ball goes out of bounds or over the sideline, sideboards, or even a knock-in for that matter. For instance, let's say that the ball goes out of bounds over the sideline and the red team is awarded a free hit, change of possession if you will, and the blue team does not get in position in time or is behind the ball, is not 30 yards from the ball, that team is deemed to be offsides. Once again, I'd like to remind you that you cannot hit the ball, make a play on the ball, make a play on the opponent until you have become onsides. In other words, passing a teammate who is properly positioned when the ball was either hit or hit at. Rule 20C. In 2017, the rule stated that the line is established when the ball leaves the umpire's hand during the throw-in. In 2018, the line of the ball is established when the ball leaves the lineup. In other words, if the ball is hit by a mallet, it bounces out after hitting a horse's leg or bounces off a horse's hoof, now we have a definitive line and we have an established right of way. And all rules of right of way, once the ball has left the lineup, do apply. Rule 22A, offsides. If a member of the defending team is behind the ball and not 30 yards from the ball on a penalty 5, a knock-in, a free hit when the ball goes out of bounds, that player is deemed to be offsides. Remember, that player cannot make a play against an opponent. They cannot affect the play in any way. If they do, the umpire shall blow the whistle and award a foul against the team who is deemed to be offsides. How does a player get back on sides? They must pass a teammate who is properly positioned when the umpire called play and the ball was hit or hit at. If a player is offsides and the ball goes out of bounds for any reason over the end line or over the sidelines, then the offsides goes away and that player is now considered to be onside and a legal player. Rule 22B. This rule is a little bit different this year. You won't find any big, bold, black print in this rule. What was taken out was that the umpires shall tee up penalty fives. Hey, so in 2018, players can tee up penalty fives. And just a side note, players have 15 seconds to tee up the ball. Then the umpires are going to say, hey, you have 5 seconds left. It is a rule that the players shall not take any more than 20 seconds to tee up a penalty five. Rule 22E. And this is a long one, folks. Let's remember this. And actually, this is a great rule this year. People love it. It's kept the game moving. And it's if the ball goes over the sidelines or over the sideboards. If the ball is hit over the sidelines or sideboards. And let's give some scenarios here. Let's say red hits the ball, and red hits it into red's teammate's horse. Now, it's a free hit from where the ball went out, providing that it's inside the 260s in favor of blue. If red hits the ball inside those 260s and it goes off a blue player or blue player's horse, now the red team gets a free hit 5 yards inside the sidelines or sideboards. If red hits the ball and it goes off the umpire's horse, then the umpire shouldn't affect the play, and this is deemed a bowl in. So, ball off the umpire's horse, bowl in. If the mallet gets caught or two players hit the ball at the same time, and the umpires can't tell which mallet it came off of, there again, the umpires probably are going to blow the whistle, have a brief discussion, and then bowl the ball in. As umpires, we don't want to affect the play. In each of these situations, there are a couple different scenarios. And I'll give you one here, and this is a little bit of a hard one to remember. Let's say that red is attacking goal. Blue backs the ball, and it goes out of bounds or over the sidelines 30 yards from the end line. Well, we can't have a spot hit inside the 60. So what happens in this case is the umpires bring the ball back to the 60. Now the red team has a free hit from the 60. However, red has two options, either to hit to goal or hit to a teammate who is 30 yards or more. They do not have the option to dribble the ball when the ball is brought back to the 60 when they're attacking their goal. Should they flub the ball or miss-hit the ball, now they may not make a play. It is the opposing team's free hit, free play. The team who was awarded the shot may not play an opponent, may not play the ball. There again, free play for the opposing team. Now, in each of these situations that I've described, the umpires count 8 seconds, and then they drop the ball, they call play, and the team awarded the free hit has 5 seconds to play the ball. The ball is not teed up. They don't get to take that great big circle in order to hit the ball. Now, here's a situation. Let's say that that play went down the field very quickly, and the umpire couldn't get there in 8 seconds. The umpire starts counting 8 seconds when the ball goes over the sidelines or sideboards. If the umpire can't get there, he blows the whistle at 8 seconds. It might take him 12 to get there. Then he or she drops the ball. They call play, and the team awarded the free hit still has 5 seconds to hit or hit at the ball. There again, the ball is not teed up, and they don't get to take that great big circle like a penalty shot. Remember, this is not a penalty shot. It's considered a free hit, as in a penalty 5A. Rule 24. Right of way on the boards. When the ball is hit to the boards at approximately 90 degrees and is approximately 6 inches from the boards, the player following the ball may turn the ball to the left as in any other play on the field. He also can turn the ball to the right. However, if an opponent is coming, that player turning to the right will be fouling. If the opponent comes from behind, checks, or takes some danger out of the play, now the player playing the ball up against the boards can turn to the right as long as he maintains speed. In other words, they can't create a dangerous situation by checking down up against the boards, because remember, the opponent must play the ball on the near side. Rule 26, improper blocking. This rule is to be implemented January 1st, 2019. Now, we have had some clubs out on the West Coast who have acquired a variance to apply the improper blocking, or what we call the picking rule. Also, there's a club in the Northeast in the High Goal this summer that has requested a variance. But the picking rule or improper blocking rule is if a player is going to hit or hit at the ball, whether it be on a penalty 4, penalty 5, penalty 6, the ball goes out of bounds, a free hit, or a knock-in, then the team awarded the ball, the free hit, may not go and block or pick a defending player who can come and make a play with the player with the ball. We are looking at some videos for this. We are getting feedback from the clubs. Everyone seems to like this rule because it's created more one-time hits. It's opened the game up. And of course, in polo, that's what we like. We like good open games. So 2019, January 1st, this rule will go into effect. If you at your club, if you like this rule and if you'd like to try it, then please write for a variance, and you have the option of trying this rule out before it's time. Rule 27, rough or abusive play. A player deliberately striking another player, or for that matter, another player's horse, shall be ejected from the remainder of the game or in the penalty box for 2 minutes of playing time. Should this happen, sometimes it's accidental, sometimes it's on purpose, but should this happen, the umpires have the discretion of awarding either 2 yellow flags, which puts that player in the penalty box for 2 minutes of playing time, or the umpires also have the discretion of awarding that player a red flag, which means that player is not only out for the rest of this game, but also the next game as well. Now, when that happens, when that player is out for this game, they are allowed a substitute. However, the substitute may not enter the field until 2 minutes of playing time have elapsed. In other words, the penalty box. It could be a serious offense. So, 2 minutes of playing time, 3 on 4. Rule 28, improper use of the mallet. In 2017, if a player's hand for a back shot, or even for a forward shot, offside, near side, was above that player's shoulder, and that player was hooked by an opponent, that was deemed an improper hook. In 2018, if the hand is above the shoulder, as long as the hook takes place by an opponent below the player's shoulder, then that is considered a legal hook this year. So in other words, you can hook the windup of a back shot. We do have a video that we'd like to interject in here and show you how hooking the windup or a back shot is a legal play this year in 2018. As we can see these players coming, this first pair is going to pass over. The second player is hooked on the windup, perfectly legal play this year in 2018. However, this play is legal on the offside. You can hook the windup on the offside. On the near side, it's a foul. It's a dangerous play. We don't want players getting pulled off their horse. Offside, legal play. Near side, not a legal play. You may not hook the windup on the near side. Rule 35E. Once again, may be awarded a yellow flag, 2 yellow flags, or a red flag may be awarded for a dangerous or deliberate foul or conduct that is very much unsportsmanlike during the game. Once again, I'll repeat, 2 yellow flags is in the penalty box for 2 minutes. Red flag, out for the rest of this game, out for the next game, substitute allowed. However, the substitute may not come in or enter the field until 2 minutes of playing time have elapsed. I'd also like to remind the timekeepers at this time that should a player be ejected with 2 yellow flags, let's say at the end of the 4th chukker, and there was 45 seconds left in that chukker, the timekeeper needs to keep the time because that player is also suspended for 1 minute and 15 seconds of the next or following period. So 2 minutes of playing time, whether it takes up 1 period or 2 periods. Rule 36, penalty procedures and violations. Penalty 2s from the 30. Last year, the host tournament committee had the option of defending the penalty 2s or not defending the penalty 2s. This year, that's not an option in 2018. Penalty 2s from the 30 are never defended, and they're never defended in any handicap level of polo. Penalty 2s from the spot, however, are defended, and they can be hit or dribbled more than once. So, remember a penalty 2, the team that was fouled has the option of taking the hit from the spot or the 30. Spot defended, may be dribbled. Penalty 2s from the 30, only 1 hit. Penalty 3s this year, a little bit different. The host tournament committee has the option of either defending the penalty 3s or not defending the penalty 3s. Remember, penalty 3 is the only penalty shot where everybody is at least 40 yards away. However, whether the club is going to defend the penalty 3s should be decided either at the draw or before the first game in a tournament. All penalty shots, penalty 2s from the 30, penalty 3s, penalty 4s, penalty 6s are all 1 hit in 2018. Penalty 4s is the biggie. If in the opinion of the umpire, the player hitting the ball tried to score off the first original hit, but however, mishit the ball or flubbed the shot, then it is a live ball for either team. And all rules of the right-of-way do apply. If in the opinion of the umpire, the player mishit the ball, tapped it, or passed to a teammate, then the umpire shall blow the whistle and award a penalty 5A to the opposing team. In other words, the fouling team. So, 1 hit on penalty 4s. Penalty 6s, safeties, same way. Hit to goal, 1 hit. Should the player mishit the ball or get a bad shot off, now it's a live ball for either team. So, both scenarios, penalty 4s, penalty 6s, treated the same. Rule 36F, procedural violations, in other words, penalty 8. Players may not make a tee with their mallet or alter the surface of the playing field in any way, shape, or form to tee up the ball. And once the umpire calls play, if the wind blows the ball off the tee, then the ball may not be re-teed and the player must play the ball as it lies. I'd also like to remind players at this point in time, remember there's only 1 approach on all penalty shots, even the ball going out of bounds, even on a knock-in. So if the wind blows the ball off the tee, must play the ball as it stands. And remember, penalty 4 must try to score, and penalty 6 on the first attempt or hit at the ball. Penalty 2. Penalty hit at the ball by the team fouled from the center of the 30-yard line. Remember, this is a one-time hit. Penalty 2s are not defended. Penalty 2s from the spot. And remember, the team awarded the penalty 2 has the option of a spot hit or a free hit from the 30. Penalty 2s from the spot are defended, and also the player hitting the penalty 2 may hit the ball more than once or may dribble. All players of the fouling team must be behind the goal and 30 yards from the goal post. And they may come out to defend the penalty 2 from the spot. However, they may not come out from between the goal posts. They must come around the goal post in order to defend that penalty 2 from the spot. Penalty 10. The umpires may send a player off on the first offense, which is in accordance with Rule 33. At this time, I'd like to add that there are 16 reasons that a player may be awarded a yellow flag. 14 in the arena, 16 outdoor. Unsportsmanlike conduct, a dangerous play, hitting the ball after the whistle, dangerous use of the mallet, dangerous riding, unwelcome talking to the umpires are just a few, and the umpires at their discretion have the option of awarding 2 yellow flags on a player's first offense, or even a red flag on that player's first offense. Yellow flag, 2 minutes in the penalty box. Red flag, out for this game, out for the next game. Substitute may come in, but must spend 2 minutes in the penalty box. Once again, my name is Steve Lane, and on behalf of the United States Polo Association and the Umpires LLC, we'd like you to have an enjoyable and safe polo season.